Greetings, subscribers! If I mention the Marvel Comics character The Punisher, most people are aware of his show on Netflix. Most also know of the 2008 movie The Punisher Warzone and the 2004 movie The Punisher. But how many of you know there was also a movie in 1989? Sort of. It's a really good movie, good low-budget action movie. It just has virtually nothing to do with any story from the comics. On the credits it does say, based on the Marvel Comics character, and Stan Lee is given credit as executive consultant. It's about a man who was once named Frank Castle, and after his family was killed he became a vigilante called the Punisher. And that's literally all there is for parallels to the comics in this movie. He never even wears a shirt with a skull, and there's literally not even one single character from the comics other than the Punisher himself. The story here is that Frank Castle was once a cop instead of a Marine who was very close with his partner Jake Berkowitz, an original character for the movie. He was also very close to his wife who was named Julie, not Maria as she's named in the comics. And he was the father of two daughters instead of one daughter and one son. Notice that his daughters wear Spider-Man pajamas, which is a small Easter egg to the fact that the Punisher's first appearance in comics came in a Spider-Man comic. Anyway, Frank Castle's family are killed by the Italian Mafia, and while most people believe Frank Castle died along with his family, he's actually living in the sewers and killing all the Mafia members he can as endless revenge for killing his family. He has one friend, an original character named Shake, who somehow makes every sentence that comes out of his mouth rhyme. Shake provides the Punisher with inside tips on where the Mafia is going to be. This movie then shows the Yakuza, the Japanese Mafia, coming to the city and wanting to destroy the Italian Mafia so they can become the crime lords of the city. It has the Yakuza kidnapping the Mafia's children so they are in control to make demands. The Yakuza is now much stronger than the Mafia, and this is largely because so many of the Mafia's strongest members have been killed by the Punisher over the years. And the Punisher himself, who has always loved children, feels guilty about these kids being held for ransom. And I'll give away one major spoiler of the climax. It ends with the Punisher agreeing to temporarily team up with his archest enemy in the Italian Mafia to rescue these children, with the understanding that once that battle is over, he'll try to kill the rest of the Italian Mafia. I think it's actually a really good story, it's just kind of ridiculous how different it is than the comics. All these villains are original characters created for the movie. Be aware that the violence here is extremely brutal and still holds up well with time. In my opinion, this movie holds up with time better than the much more popular 1989 Batman movie. There's some surprisingly good performances in this movie. Dolph Lundgren plays Frank Castle, a.k.a. the Punisher. We've all seen him in tons of other movies, and while he may not generally be regarded as the greatest actor you've ever seen, he actually works really well for this role. Shows the depression, anger, and toughness of the character. Louis Gossett Jr. plays his once best friend and partner, Jake Berkowitz. And while Louis Gossett Jr. may end up being in some bad movies, he always gives great performances himself, and his performance here is no exception. The head of the Mafia, named Johnny Franco, is played by Dutch actor Jeroen Krabbé, who many people recognize as Dr. Charles Nichols in the great 1993 movie The Fugitive with Harrison Ford. And Lady Tanaka, the head of the Yakuza, is played by an actress named Kim Miyori. I don't think I've ever seen her in anything else, but I can firmly say she gives a strong performance here. I should mention that this Punisher movie has a running time of 89 minutes. Most of the Punisher's origin is told in flashbacks. There was a 15-minute origin shot for this movie, but cut out. I've seen that beginning on YouTube, and I feel it was a major mistake to have the editors cut it out. It just adds so much depth to these characters. Right now, I can see that beginning on YouTube as Punisher 1989 work print cut. I'm not even sure if it's there legally or illegally, so I'm not sure if it'll still be there by the time you're watching this video of mine. But I do strongly recommend you try to see it before watching the movie's final cut. Again, I fully acknowledge this movie's story is completely different than that of the comics, but if you can be open to that kind of difference, then I have to recommend you watch this movie. And I'll say one final time, I recommend you try to first watch the original beginning, which was cut from the film, then watch the actual version that was released. And as always, I'd like to hear some feedback from you viewers. If you've never heard of the movie before, then has my video made you want to see it? Or if you've already seen it, then do you think I summarized it well? Or if you watched the film after seeing this video, then please leave comments here about your thoughts then. And if you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more of my videos, then please feel free to hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you. Thank you.